Kicking it off, everybody. Welcome, everyone, to the Grim Gazette Live. I am your host, T. Morris. I am one of the founders of the Old Spirits Investigations Paranormal team. And the Grim Gazette is a collection of weird news stories. It's a collection of paranormal clips from TikTok, from YouTube, from places that I just reached out and said, let me see if I can find something to look at. And we are going to pretty much give a critical eye to those clips, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the stuff that we do at Old Spirits. So if you've got questions for me, if you've got any kind of queries about what we get up to, do not hesitate. Go on ahead and reach out and ask questions. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do here. And again, if you have any submissions for Grim Gazette, the best place to drop them will be here in our Discord. And you'll find in Discord we do have a room in Discord called Grim Gazette. Go on ahead and drop in your submissions there. The music sounds a little loud right now. It's the tough part about spooky music, everybody. You know, you get spooky music, but then it can't decide if it wants to be soft or if it wants to be, intense. But I think 5% is good. Okay, so first news item of the day: the paranormal field is being swamped with poor quality evidence. This is from Higgy Pop. Just so you know, this is from Higgy Pop. So Facebook has been in weeks when websites like Facebook have been criticized for not doing enough to stamp out fake news. We look into the current trend of posting poor quality evidence online that could be putting the paranormal world at risk. According to a government report, British democracy is at risk through the malicious and relentless targeting of citizens with disinformation, and this same issue of fake news can be seen within the paranormal community. Wow, I wish they were wrong. But there you go. If you're a member of the popular paranormal group on Facebook, then you have probably experienced this, unless you are one of those who are causing this problem. Paranormal pages are being swamped by poor quality posts of orbs that are clearly nothing more than dust, photos that show nothing more but explainable non-paranormal phenomenon, and blatant fakes. But enough about Lainey and Ben. Let's continue. The users post these photos and videos in order to get in order to get feedback from others in the group. But because of the echo chamber nature of the internet, if anyone more rational attempts to debunk or label something as fake, they are shot down and called a they are called a non-believer. They are almost ostracized for being skeptical, despite the fact that their skepticism is a very important part of paranormal investigation. Paranormal investigator Lee Smart said in a video he posted to Facebook, "The sad fact is there are a lot of good people out there. Skeptics like Liddy, skeptics like okay. Yeah, but the difference is that the skeptics that are here, Pash, they're not going to eat my food. That's different. Paranormal investigator Lee Smart said in a video, the sad fact is there are a lot of good people out there trying to do a lot of good for the paranormal, but all the work we are doing is wasted when everything is getting flooded with a constant bombardment of garbage." A member of the South Wales group, Twisted Paranormal, and I've seen those guys before. Online. They're pretty good. Speaking in a 6-minute-long video rant about the issue, added, "You can speak up about it, and you can say nothing against it, whether it's dust, water vapor, snow blowing about, whatever. And the sad thing is, there are people in this field who actually believe in what we are doing." Lee thinks a big part of the problem is the growing trend of numbers of the public going on organized ghost hunts. He explains they go on a ghost hunt, then they think they know everything. They know what's real, what's not real. They got no interest in debunking anything. And thank you for the shout out to Princess Pashley. I do appreciate it. He says the mentality of many who attend public ghost hunts is to jump to conclusions about the paranormal, instead of discussing it sensibly and coming to a decent decision on what it really is. Straight away, it's paranormal, and that's it. That's what he's saying, that a lot of the public paranormal groups are out there doing. And to some extent, that is true. That is true. In fact, I'll come back to that in a minute. The problem seems to be getting worse. Every paranormal page you visit on Facebook has an almost constant stream of this sort of low quality and damaging evidence. And it is this responsibility of the group's owners to educate their members and moderate out poor quality content. Many people who post this sort of low quality evidence become aggressive when challenged, as Lee points out. There we go. Kit Kat Boy, thank you for that follow. Certainly do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. As Lee points out in this video, they act like they know everything, and we don't. We don't know everything. But if you're serious about what you do, the first thing you're going to do is go in there and try to disprove it all. This is a trait of a good paranormal investigator, eliminating every possible explanation for the evidence captured. If the only remaining explanation is that it's paranormal, then this makes the evidence much stronger. Of course, researchers and lovers of the paranormal should be allowed to share whatever they like online, but with a better understanding the explainable phenomenon, which is often mistaken for paranormal activity. We'd be able to filter out some of this garbage and perhaps get to the truth of the matter. Those posting should also be more open to criticism and feedback on their photos and videos, as debunking will help to strengthen evidence captured across the whole field. Some have defended the posters of this sort of content, arguing that even if the activity in the post isn't really paranormal in nature, it might be very significant
to that person.
They may have recently lost someone, and it may be one of comfort to them to believe that they're floating bits of dust or whatever else, they're the spirits of their past loved ones. That is very sweet and all, and this may sound heartless, but keep your significant moments to yourself. Firstly, it's not really that kind of thing you should be sharing with strangers on the internet. And secondly, you're probably going to have your significant moment debunked or scrutinized. That was a really good article. So here's the thing about public ghost hunts, and this is the thing that we're trying to be careful about over at OSI, because as I mentioned to Pash the other day, we have a public ghost hunt on the books. Now we're still locking down the dates, but it's going to be sometime in October, right? So it's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time with it, etc., etc., etc. That being said, something that I got a little turned off about when I went to my second public ghost hunt with this group out of Southern Virginia. I think if they're not out of Southern Virginia, they're out of Tennessee. But these guys basically are hyping up the crowd. When he was hyping up this evening, he said, "Who's ready to go on a ghost hunt?" They were they're trying to get everybody pumped up, and we're going to give you a great experience, and that's great and all. But here's the problem when you say, who's ready for a ghost hunt, or who's ready to catch a ghost? You can't guarantee that sort of thing, and you have to be real careful how you frame it to people. Whenever we at Old Spirits do a public paranormal investigation, which is what we prefer to call it, we know we sometimes have to mark it as a public ghost hunt, but we prefer to call it a public paranormal investigation. And we don't sugarcoat it. We go, look, you might go out here with us tonight, and I know it's not a rock concert. It's not a rock concert, absolutely. But when you are working with the public, you have to be very careful, and you got to say things like, okay, we are going to be doing a paranormal investigation. You're going to see how we do this. And there will be no provoking. There will be no shirts taken off. There will be no utterance of the D word whatsoever. Okay? And when I say D word, I mean demon. No one says that. We don't even say
demon. We don't even say it like that.
We prefer to avoid the D word at all costs. And what we do is we basically tell people you are in an investigation. And that means there's going to be a lot of sitting around, listening. And if something happens, we have to try to explain it first. Because if you can't explain it, by normal measures, if you cannot explain it by something that it could have been people outside, it could have been this, it could have been that, it could have been other things. So no dog? Can you say dog?
You can say dog. Dogs are nice. I like dogs. I have a couple of hellhounds. I like hellhounds. They don't fetch for shit, but, I like hellhounds.
Okay. When you go on Dark Nova, I feel like with a ghost investigation, it'd be the atmosphere and generally experience that makes it exciting. Well, honestly, Dark Nova, it is pretty much like phasmophobia. Not many people realize it, but phasmophobia is very accurate when it comes to paranormal investigation. There is a lot of sitting and waiting for something to happen. And then when things start to happen, it can get crazy. It can get really crazy. Now, I'm not saying that things haven't happened on a paranormal investigation, on a public paranormal investigation, but it's harder to guarantee that when you've got people literally tripping over yourself, literally just people everywhere. And that is why when we do an investigation, a public thing, we try to keep it. We're actually going to be making the numbers for this this new event we got coming up. We're actually going to try to get 25 people total in there. And the real trick is when you do this sort of thing, when you start doing public paranormal investigations, you open the door for people to come in and pay for the right to be jerks. So, yeah, we always have to be on guard when we do this sort of thing. But public paranormal investigations, one, does not make you an investigator. You really do have to start looking, take a step back and go, okay, what could have caused this to happen? What could have caused me to think that there was a voice? As you all saw last night when we went back to some of our earlier stuff, I actually came across some footage that made me go, I don't think that's paranormal. I honestly don't think that's paranormal. I think that might have been because I was working with such a crappy mic. So yeah, paranormal investigation can be tricky. It can be really super tricky. Next news story. Woman spends over 3 hours in ice to break Guinness World Record. This was just last week, everybody. Polish woman spent 3 hours, 6 minutes, and 45 seconds standing in a box filled up to her neck with ice to set the Guinness Book of World Records. Katarzyna Jakubowska. Katarzyna Jakubowska. 48 people. She was 48. Officially set the world's record for the longest duration full body contact with ice, female. Jakubowska's time was just short of the male version of the record, which was set at 3 hours, 11 minutes, and 27 seconds. She missed it. Wow, she missed it by 5 minutes. Dang. 5 more minutes, man. 5 more minutes, but good on her. I believe that we have great strength as women. Okay, hold on. Maybe I should do it this way. Hold on. Maybe I should do it this way.
I believe we have great strength as women. No, it doesn't sound.
That doesn't sound any better. I believe that we have great strength as women. Jakubowska told Guinness World Records, I want to show off my person that if we want something, we can do it. So, not too bad. Not too bad. That's wow. Wow, 3 hours, 6 minutes, and 45 seconds. Now, the reason why I'm super impressed by that is that there was an exhibit in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Okay, everybody. Actually, no, I'm sorry, Pigeon Forge. There's a difference. There's a difference between Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. And in Pigeon Forge, they have the Titanic Museum. And one of the cool things they have in this, it looked, from the outside, the Titanic Museum in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, looks chintzy as all get out. It really does. It looks super chintzy. It is so effing good. It is such a good museum. It's got like hands-on stuff, and I loved it. I absolutely loved the experience. And one of the things they have you do is they actually have this trough in front of you, and it's got running water in it, and the trough basically is the same temperature. The water in the trough is the same temperature as the as it was when the Titanic was sailing through the Atlantic. Okay, and they basically said there were people that had spent an hour to an hour and a half, and even longer, in this water. Put your hand in this water and see how long you can keep your hand there. And I steeled myself, and I put my hand in the water, and I just tried to stick it out. I said, you know what? I'm going to see if I can hold my hand in this water for, I'm going to say, a minute. And I think I made it a minute and 5 seconds. And wow, I could feel my hand going numb after 45 seconds. And that woman did like 3 hours. I mean, okay. Good on you. Good on you. I respect that. I respect that. I do. All right. Next up. Goldie Hawn says an ET touched her, and it felt like the finger of a god. Ooh. Yeah. Okay.
Who's this nut tugger?
Let's dive into this one, shall we? Some people might find an encounter with an extraterrestrial to be, well, alienating. Good Lord.
Hard no.
But not actor Goldie Hawn. In fact, she says it felt like she was being touched by a finger of a god. Hawn recently described having an alien encounter on the Time to Walk program on Apple Fitness Plus, and said that it happened when she was around 20, somewhere in California, at a time when there had been a lot of UFO sightings. You know, that's how I can tell she's old, because, you know, the hip kids say UAPs. Yeah, you know me. The Oscar-winning actor. That's right, she is Oscar-winning, isn't she? Jeez, I almost forgot. Okay. The Oscar-winning actor said she had been dancing outside.
Figured it.
The Oscar-winning actor said she had been dancing outside when she decided to take a nap in a fellow dancer's car. But Hawn didn't get much sleep thanks to a high-pitched sound in her ear. It was this high frequency, she explained, and I looked out the window and I saw these 2 or 3 triangular-shaped heads. Hawn said the aliens she met were silver in color and had a slash for a mouth and a tiny little nose and no ears. Years later, Hawn said she met an astrophysicist from the University of Champaign, Illinois, who studied alien encounters and triggered more detailed memories about the experience. It was kind of like a regression therapy or something, Hawn said. I am like almost in a trance and suddenly I remembered something. They touched my face. Hawn said that the touch felt like the finger of a god and was the most benevolent, loving feeling. This was powerful. It was filled with light.
And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
Thank you, secondhand. I could not move. I was paralyzed. I did not know if it was real or not real, she said. That wasn't Hawn's only paranormal experience, she said. She recounted a dream she had in London of seeing 6 lights coming up on some mountains up across the valley. Later, she drove to a place that resembled the valley in her dream, where she ran into a mysterious heart-shaped crop circle. Hawn said she didn't know if that crop circle sighting was a sign, but that it really didn't matter. I don't want to know everything, she said. We cut ourselves off from a lot of things. We cut ourselves off from a lot of things if we're continuing to deny something that we have no proof over. There's a lot of things in this world that we can't see, but we can't stop believing. Well, that's actually pretty nice. She added, we can never, ever lose our wonder. It's just no fun. It's really an important aspect of being an adventurer when nothing is impossible. You can watch a teaser of Hawn's interview on Instagram below. Oh, there you go. Well, and I mean, you know, it's Goldie Hawn. I mean, what are you gonna do? It's Goldie Hawn. She said she was dancing. I mean, but this is where the paranormal gets tricky because, see, we would call something like that a quote unquote personal experience. And a personal experience is something where you believe something has happened, but there is no proof. And that can be super frustrating. It was a bit like the conversation that Pip and I were hearing the other night when you were watching our Christmas special, and we were convinced that we heard, it wasn't just me, we both heard a conversation happening in the room above where we were doing the Estes method. And the problem was that I tried several times to try and get that on some kind of recording device, and I couldn't. I just couldn't. What I should have done was and this is always the chance you take. If you grab the recorder and you take it to where where you hear the event, where you hear or you're experiencing whatever it is, it shifts something, and then when that happens, you lose the moment. You lose the moment. So I'm a very big stickler, and Pip can attest. It really pisses off Phil sometimes, but I tend to want to make sure that we catch something. I am not interested in personal experiences. I have a personal experience every time I hit the live button and I go on Twitch. Okay, that is my personal experience that I'm sharing with all of you. But when I go on a paranormal investigation, I want something to take home with me. Some people also modify their bodies from young ages to grow in such ways. Guess it's possible. I mean, So continuing on, this is from this year. This is last week as well. Pink Floyd CD returned to Maryland Library after 35 years. This one's for you, Pip. This one's for my baby. Yo, that Pink Floyd CD you thought you lost? We found it. It's back. We got it. We can file it away now.
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Okay, here we go. Workers at a Maryland library recently found a surprise in their return box. Oh, what? It wasn't even returned face to face. It was left in the return box. They were too busy talking to aliens. Probably, my baby. Probably. Nicely done, baby. Nicely done. Thank you. So yeah, the Prince George's County Memorial Library System said that the staff at the Laurel Branch Library were shocked to discover a Wish You Were Here CD that had been due 35 years earlier. 35. The CD was placed into the library return box. It has been gone so long, wasn't even the library's computer system. So the patron who returned it remains a mystery. Dang.
Flo, we've discussed this. Mornings are for coffee and contemplation.
She's
Coffee and contemplation.
Oh, sigh. I just saw your comment. Oof. Okay. Library said the patron would not be charged anyway. The facility is now fine-free. So there you go. Look, happy ending there. Happy ending on that story. And from libraries, we turn our eyes to the skies once again. Hopefully not to get fingered by any aliens. People are freaking out over a question mark seen in space that scientists cannot explain. Okay, so I'm gonna switch over here so you can see this. This is a question mark shaped structure seen in a brand new photo from the James. Now this is even more intriguing. This is an image from the James Webb Space Telescope. This is from the James Webb Telescope. Likely the merger of two distant galaxies. Everybody sees that, right? Everybody sees that. This is NPR. Yeah, Lizard. I don't get all my stuff from Higgy Pop. I get some stuff sometimes from NPR. When I can, I'm going to get something from NPR. Okay. And so if anyone is not aware, if anyone is not aware of the James Webb Telescope. Let me just go on ahead and throw this out there so that you all know. The James Webb Telescope, I actually have a friend that used to work for NASA Goddard. She worked on the James Webb Telescope. And the James Webb Telescope is absolutely astounding, okay? Basically what they did was they took this solar-powered solar array, mirrors akimbo, I mean, this incredible feat of engineering. That's the only way I can describe it. It's a feat of engineering. All right, this is the James Webb Telescope, what we're looking at here. If you've never seen it before, up close and personal, this is the James Webb, okay? And what they did was they parked this in a geosynchronous orbit over the dark side of the moon. And this is, and by doing that, they do not capture any light reflecting off of anything like, say, the Earth, which was Hubble's kryptonite, apart from Hubble constantly breaking down. But that's also just part of maintenance. So if this thing breaks down, if this breaks down, I'm be really curious as to how they're going to fix it, because the Hubble telescope, is just in orbit, so you could just go on ahead and let it do its thing. But James Webb, it's a little different. But the fact that it's parked on the dark side of the moon, it's really kind of cool. No, I take that back. It's not just kind of cool. It is cool. The James Webb. Oh, let's go. Spiro's Grove. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you for the follow.
Yes.
Do appreciate that.
More of that, please.
The James Webb
More
Space
of that,
Telescope
Virgo.
recently captured a stunning new image of what scientists call a pair of actively forming stars. But eagle-eyed viewers were quick to seize on an even tinier and some more intriguing detail at the very bottom of the frame, an orange formation in the unmistakable shape of a question mark. Man, that was where they caught it. And that's where they caught it. Okay, that's pretty amazing. I'll show everybody in a second. Detail at the very bottom of the frame, an orange formation, the unmistakable shape of a question mark, tail and all. The photo, which is actually a composite of a half a dozen infrared images, went viral on social media sites like the platform formerly known as Twitter and Reddit after the European Space Agency, one of the three agencies behind the telescope, shared it late last month, prompting the ESA to clarify weeks later that it's not a hoax. The aliens know we found them and now they're just messing with us, one Reddit user wrote. The photo shows a tightly bound pair of young stars, also known as Herbig Haro 46 and 47, surrounded by a disk of gas and dust, and dotted by distant galaxies and stars on the backgrounds. Let me see if... All right, that's just the regular photos. Let's see if there we go. Okay. So this was the original photo that was captured. All right. So here was the original photo that was captured. And out of this chat, and this is something I find absolutely stunning. Let me see if we can actually get it. No, you can't. Okay. So basically, this is the image that ESA released, and people actually found in the lower quadrant here, near these two big stars, they found in this lower quadrant wow, that's... So right in here, that was where they found the question mark. That's redonkulous. I am astounded that people actually caught that detail. That's amazing to me. That's more amazing to me than the question mark in space, to be honest with you. So, ESA says Herbig Haro 46 and 47, respectively, is important to study because it's only a few thousand years old. And since stars take millions of years to form, its young age offers research a chance to observe how stars gather mass over time and potentially model the formation of one of the most famous stars, the sun. Even so, scientists acknowledge it's not the only notable formation in the photo. Macarena, I'm assuming that's Macarena Garcia de Marin, a Webb project scientist with the Space Telescope Science Institute in Baltimore, which manages the telescope science operations, told NPR in an email that the question mark is a great example of how, with Webb, no matter what you're looking at, you can have surprises in the background. And she has at least one theory for why it's resonating so much with people. I think we all enjoy finding familiar shapes in the sky. that creates a deep connection between our human experience and language, in this case, a question mark, and the beauty of the universe surrounding us, Garcia Marin writes. I think this exemplifies the human need for exploration and wonder, and to me, it brings the question of how many other interesting objects are out there waiting to be explored with Webb. So what exactly is it? Scientists say the punctuation-shaped object appears to be 2 or more galaxies merging. The intense process, though, which galaxies collide, the Milky Way itself is the byproduct of one such merger. It looks like a group or chance alignment of 2 or 3 galaxies. Kai said it. No, I'm not Kai said it. Kai Noeski, ESA Communication Program Officer, said over email, the upper part of the question mark looks like a distorted spiral galaxy, maybe merging with a second galaxy. ESA study scientist Nora Lutzgendorf says that while it's too far away to say for sure, the arc of the question mark likely comes from the tidal interaction between galaxies, and the dot might as well be just a smaller spherical galaxy. Galaxy mergers are actually very common astrophysical phenomenon, she adds. Even our own galaxy is interacting with its neighbor, the Andromeda Galaxy. Garcia Marin similarly calls them a normal phase in the life and evolution of galaxies. But that doesn't mean we see them often. It's all about projection, Garcia Marin explains. She says the reason we see the galaxies in a question mark shape is a result of both the angle with which they have encountered each other and our own point of view. See, I'm going to read this all the way to the end because I freaking love astronomy. Astronomy is my jam, and so yeah, I'm eating this up. I'm absolutely eating this up. This question mark shape figures perfectly. This question mark shape figure perfectly exemplifies projection effects when looking at the sky. She has. What we measure is a 2-dimensional image of a universe that is filled with objects spanning time and space. We see their projection. That question mark shaped object is much further away from us than HH 46 and 47, respectively, and it does not have a direct impact on it. But she does note one interesting connection between the two phenomena. In general, she says the process of galaxies interacting with each other can trigger the formation of stars, and objects like HH 46 and 47, respectively, the main subject of the image, could be born. Like this little guy. This is Hicks. This is Hicks, everybody. This is Hicks. What can it teach us? Galaxy mergers generate all kinds of beautiful shapes and structures, Garcia Marin says, especially depending on the angle from which they are perceived. One example is Stephan's quintet. Oh, and that's it right here. Okay. A visual grouping of 5 close together galaxies located in the constellation Pegasus. It is one of the first images released from the Webb telescope last summer. Is this an enlarged version of it? Let's see it. No? Yes? Ooh, that's rad. So rad. Space is so effing cool. I'm just going to come out and say it. Space is effing cool. Wait, I wonder if I can do that with this image up here. Can I? No, I can't. Oh, that's a shame. Let's see. Lutzgendorf says, I got it right that time. It says images of some of the interacting galaxies closer by, sorry. I was so happy with the name that I kind of butchered the rest of it. Lutzgendorf says images of some of the interacting galaxies closer by, relatively speaking, like the whirlpool galaxies and antenna galaxies, bear some resemblance to the structure people are talking about now. You can see the similarities now from a different perspective, and from further away, this might look like a question mark, she adds. Given that mergers are relatively common and the new photos are really focused on the growing stars, is there anything new we can learn from the question mark hidden within? Garcia Marin thinks so. If this is a galaxy merger, she says, its relevance would be to see how it fits in what we know about the mergers and their importance for galaxy evolution. So this is also from, this next image is from the Hubble. The first one you saw, that one was from Webb. This one's from Hubble. Even that's cool. I mean, you think that's the Hubble, which is the step down. That's a cool image. The fact that somebody caught that question mark image is so cool. All right. Here we go, everybody. Strap in. 10 wild Bigfoot conspiracies. Now, I want to make something very clear. If you go onto the platform formerly known as X and say T-Monster is talking about hashtag Bigfoot, this is not going to be the Bigfoot that is currently trending on the platform formerly known as Twitch and other social media platforms. We are not talking about that Bigfoot. What is happening between Megan Thee Stallion and... It's not Cardi B, is it? It's not Cardi B. It was another female rapper. It's another female rapper. I'm blanking on that. I don't know what it was. I knew it was Megan Thee Stallion and somebody else with an axe to grind, and I'm trying to remember which one it was. Help me out, Chad. Who was it? No, it wasn't Cardi B. I don't like either of them. Well, there you go. What? What is it?
I want to play with the thing. Nicki Minaj. It was Nicki Minaj, Dad. It was Nicki Minaj. Dad, it was Nicki Minaj. Jeez. I mean, come on, Dad. Jeez, Dad, you're so old. Nicki Minaj. Give me cuddles. Dad. Nicki Minaj.
Okay, I'll stop. It's Hicks, everybody. This is Hicks. Okay. So yes, conspiracy time. Perfect music. We got Theremin going. It's going to be good. 10 wild Bigfoot conspiracies. Here we go. Whether or not you believe in Bigfoot, chances are you live pretty close to somebody who does. Sasquatch sightings have been reported in every state but Hawaii over the course of several centuries. The number one state, according to the Bigfoot Field Research Organization, is Washington, with more than 700 deemed credible. In the process, a number of bizarre theories have been put forth to explain how the mysterious beasts came to be, reproduce, and constantly evade us. So me and cryptids. Let me explain something about me and cryptids, okay? So I was willing, chat. I was willing to buy into the cryptid thing, okay? For my buddy Phil. Because Phil was all about the cryptids. Phil is all about the cryptids, right? Then we went to Paracon, up in Pennsylvania. It was actually at, and I do have thoughts about this, but it was at the Pennhurst, it was at the Pennhurst Sanatorium, right? And one of the groups that were guests at the Pennhurst Paracon were the Monster Hunters. From the Discovery show Mountain Monsters. Yeah, the Mountain Monsters. Yeah.
Hard no.
So Danny Gonzalez, I don't know if any of you watch Danny. Danny actually did a story about them, and I was really disappointed that Danny did not respond to my comment. He actually said, "This is the greatest show I have never watched." He said, "I've only watched it in clips, but I have not watched..." Don't tempt me, secondhand. I might dust them off. But,
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
You're tempting me. I have a lot of stuff to go through tonight, but if I run out of time and I've got more time to burn, we're going to go through those clips again. But yeah, Danny had never watched an entire show. And that's the thing. I sat through four episodes of Mountain Monsters. And here's the thing. You're watching these guys, and you're thinking to yourself,
Who's this not Togger?
that's not an act they're putting on. That is not, in a row, Dark Nova, in a row. And it was because I couldn't look away. I could not look away. And we saw these guys speak, and the thing is, that is not an act they're putting on. They are legitimately what you see on camera. And in the words of Phil Rossi, I believe he said, yeah, I think that set you back with me about 5 years. and and the worst bit is that these guys got several seasons out of Discovery. And I actually did a breakdown of their show. So I might have to do another one again, but have I ever heard the story of where the name Bigfoot came? No, I have not. The only thing I know about it, the only thing I ever heard about it was that he got the name Bigfoot because somebody heard a sound they had never heard before. They saw the famous film of the guy walking in the gorilla suit, across, and they made the casting, and his foot was twice the size of a human, and so they just called him Bigfoot. That was where I thought it was. I know Sasquatch was the Native American, supposedly the Native American name that he was referred to by. But now the funnier still, I actually did a short story that's going to be in the anthology that Phil and I will eventually finish. Let me rephrase that. That the one that Phil will eventually finish, because I've turned in all my stuff. I need for Phil to finish half of a story. But I actually went into the Sasquatch's European cousin, or I guess I should say Euro-Asian cousin, or Asian cousin, the Yeti. We talk about the Yeti. And so, yeah, I have a tougher time. I mean, UFOs, UAPs, close encounters, I actually think that's a possibility. I actually do buy into that. I think some people are terrified to tell their story. I think some people do it to seek fame and fortune. But I give more credence to unidentified flying objects and close encounters before cryptids, because we have way too much technology on the ground that should be able to that has detected a lot of stuff in the various wilds of America and around the world. That being said, Washington, I could see why there were so many Bigfoot sightings out there. I could see why there are so many Bigfoot sightings, because that is a remote area. It's gorgeous and should be left alone, but there's probably some stuff in those woods. I guarantee you could get lost in those woods for an age. Definitely. We have myth in the Balkans, the vital. Yes. Yeah. The vital. Oh, UAP stands for unidentified aerial phenomenon. That was because the government really didn't want to say UFO. So they said, they're not UFOs, they're UAPs. That's what the hip kids are saying anymore. But yeah, unidentified aerial phenomenon. It just doesn't roll off the tongue as UFO. Move on. UFO. Anyway. So yeah, I don't necessarily buy into the Bigfoot stuff. That being said, let's find out some more about this, about the 10 wild Bigfoot conspiracies. Here we go. Number 1, a DNA test proved that Bigfoot is a part human hybrid. In November 2012, Texas veterinarian Melba S. Ketchum claimed to have proved via a supposed Sasquatch DNA sample. I do not want to know where that DNA came from.
Who's this not Togger?
But our data indicates that the North American Sasquatch is a hybrid species, the result of males of an unknown hominin species crossing with female Homo sapiens. She even went so far as to insist that the United States government recognizes Sasquatch as what is this ad I'm seeing? Okay, sorry. A little distracted there. Is a hybrid species, the result of a male unknown hominin species crossing with a female Homo sapiens. She went so far to insist the U.S. government recognizes Sasquatch as an indigenous people and immediately protect their human and constitutional rights. I'm not going to touch that one. Recently, Ketchum launched a GoFundMe to finance her work, which she claims includes samples from Bigfoot, Dogman, giants, and others. That was number 1, everybody. We have 9 more to go. We got 9 more of these. We've got 9 more of these to go. It's a trap. The guy was working for a logging company, kept seeing large footprints and barrels randomly moved around, which then led to the plaster cast story. But then years later, one of his coworkers found a collection of large carved wooden feet in the coworker's basement. Yes, you did hear Dogman. You did hear Dogman. We're not going there. We're not going there. We're not going there, Cammy. We are not going there. I wanted to, but we're not going there. Okay. Number 2. The government secretly removed burnt Sasquatch corpses from Mount St. Helens after the 1980 eruption. And Dark Nova, not to be confused with Mothman. Okay? Not to be confused with Mothman. Following the disaster, a few witnesses reported seeing federal helicopters carrying off the charred remains of several Sasquatches from the area. Prior to the eruption, Mount St. Helens had already been a hotspot for supposed ape men sightings and even a reported attack since the 1920s, with a nearby gorge eventually being named Ape Canyon. Number 3, Bigfoot really is a caveman. In 2007, Vancouver Island resident Robert Wilson claimed to have seen what I thought was a bear. I drove down and saw what I could only describe as a large, hairy man who looked caveman, like with sort of Neanderthal features. As big as a bear, easily. Expanding on his claim, a 2011 History Channel documentary proposed Sasquatch might not be a giant ape at all, but could be a species of prehistoric human. Number 4. As proven, I will say this, as proven in the $6 Million Man, because I remember this as a kid. Bigfoot is really an alien. I mean, Bigfoot, yeah, he's really an alien. He's an alien. He could be an alien in Michigan. All right. 2 conspiracies from the price of one. In 1970, Pennsylvania UFO researcher Stan Gordon noticed an increase in sightings of Sasquatches entering and exiting the extraterrestrial vehicles. Fascinated by a possibility that mysterious primates may actually hail from another planet, Gordon quickly set up a UFO Bigfoot hotline. A Bigfoot UFO hotline. Okay, now something I should bring up here. And I'm not gonna give my partner in the paranormal, Phil, I'm not gonna give him guff about this, because I think it is an intriguing. Is it still up? I have no idea. They did not give a listing of the number. But here's the thing, chat. My buddy Phil, he's got a podcast called Don't Turn Around. And in his podcast, he talks about the intersection of the unexplained. And what he believes, and I find this to be an intriguing thought, and apparently it's a very popular one. In fact, if you watch season 1 of a series, and I believe the series is on Amazon. Aw, you too. He just wants to play, buddy. He just wants to play with you. He loves it. Look, Hicks loves his Uncle Benedict, okay? He does. He loves his Uncle Benedict. He just wants to play with you. Hicks is touching is touching Benedict's butt, doing that thing of like, he's doing this.
Come on, play! want you to play. Oh, hey, are we gonna play? Come on, let's play. Let's play. No, I'm gonna go over here.
Hi, Benedict. And in this show, I believe it's on Amazon. It's called, it's on Prime, and it's called Hellier, and it's done in a documentary style. But in this show, Hellier, they're basically paranormal investigators, but they also do UFOs, and they also talk about cryptids, and they believe there is an intersection between the three. There's an intersection between UFOs, cryptids, and ghosts. That's kind of neat. It's a neat thought. Not sure if I'm 100% on board with it, but maybe 85% on board with it. My biggest hurdle though is cryptids. No. It's neat to think about, particularly with the Mothman. The Mothman's kind of a badass. I gotta admit, the Mothman, and I'm close to Mothman territory. I know Secondhand is also close to Mothman territory. And you see, I would believe in dragons before Mothman, right? I would want to believe in dragons more than Mothman, but cryptids, tough sell. Oh, you live in, see, that's what I'm saying. Secondhand lives in Mothman country, so there you go. Okay, so let's get back to it. We were saying, the Bigfoot is really an alien. But no, conspiracy number 5, Bigfoot is really a giant ground sloth. While most experts believe the Sasquatch to be some form of shaggy primate, a few have opinioned that these beasts are actually surviving giant ground sloths, or perhaps evolved from them. Right. Craziest Bigfoot conspiracies. I left off at number 5, then he might be a giant sloth, but let's go on with number 6. Sasquatches appear in the Bible. By the way, Nicholas, hi, how are you? What's up? How are you, Nicholas? Welcome on in. Sasquatches appear in the Bible. Some have argued that the giants, briefly mentioned in the book of Genesis, were actually early Sasquatches. Others say that the animals are descended from Esau or Cain. Cain. All right. I don't know where that came from. Might be getting a little loopy, but that's okay. Just, throwing that out there. The giants mentioned in Genesis. No.
Noah, you can have your boat. You can go on ahead and just, do your Noah thing. Never did tell us how big a cube it is, but you got this big boat. I'm gonna do boat things on it, and that's fine. But we're big feet. We're Bigfoot. Bigfoots, big feet, whatever. We'll talk about that later, guys. You do you, Noah. We got this. Don't worry. It's not like the water's gonna weigh us down or anything.
All right. Number 7, Sasquatches. Top 10 Bigfoot conspiracies. Craziest Bigfoot conspiracies. Sasquatches bury their dead. One of the most jarring questions for cryptozoologists is, if Sasquatches are real, why don't we ever find the bodies? Many believers argue that it's not unlike modern elephants, the elusive apes actually bury their dead. A Kentucky-based Bigfoot researcher, wish I knew how to quit you. Kentucky-based Bigfoot researcher named Thomas Markham has wondered if giant mounds in the woods of Bell and Harlan counties in the state might be Bigfoot graves. This is in an area where I have had several Bigfoot encounters and found many tracks, Markham told the Daily Yonder. The Daily Yonder. Now, of course, I have no idea if these are really graves or just odd humps of dirt on the ground. It could be nothing more than a natural formation or something a person did long time ago. Would not dig into them, but I am confident that Bigfoot does bury their dead. And here's my thing. Here's my thing. Yeah, I know, my God, I know. Here's my thing, and this is where I have a tough time buying into the whole cryptid thing. We have technology that if you don't want to upset a possible burial ground, like a possible Native American burial ground, yeah, that would suck. We have ground penetrating radar. We do have the ability to look without disturbing anything. So why don't they do that? They should do that, and then mystery solved, correct? Selling me. Just like this one. The government captured a live Sasquatch in 1999. This is the party Prince was singing about. Prince was singing about the party the government threw because they captured a live Sasquatch. In 1999, a number of simultaneous fires ravaged Battle Mountain, Nevada. An injured Bigfoot was supposedly spotted in the carnage, but was whisked away by the government for treatment. The animal was supposedly fixed up and released. They didn't bother tagging him, but they released him, because with Sasquatches, it's a catch and release program. The animal was supposedly fixed up and released, and then a government cover-up commenced. That's probably not true, but it is true that the FBI tested supposed Sasquatch hair in the 1970s. Analysis revealed it came from a deer. Okay. Damn deer. All right. Number nine. This one has a clip, everybody. So we're playing this freaking clip. Bigfoot calls have been documented and can easily be mimicked. Believers feel that Bigfoot calls are diverse and distinctive, as evidenced in Animal Planet's Finding Bigfoot series. You can hear an explanation and demonstrations of the calls in the clip above from the show. According to the late Grover Krantz, anthropologist and Bigfoot believer, one tape of alleged Bigfoot vocalizations was analyzed by some university sound specialist who determined that a human voice could not have made them. They required a much longer vocal tract. A Sasquatch investigator later asked one of these experts if a human could imitate the sound characteristics by simply cupping his hands around his mouth. The answer was yes. I have unlocked memories. I take it not good memories. Is that what you're trying to tell me? All right. Hang on. We have clips. We cannot say no to the clips. Really? We're not stopping the music, are we? Are we going to the next song? We're going to the next song. Oh. Come on. I swear, the app for Pretzel Rocks, I love it. I love it dearly, but man, it can be really dicey when it works. Now, here we go. A nice, juicy 5-minute clip from Finding Bigfoot, everybody. I want to be open-minded about this. I really do, but man, the mountain monsters guys really threw me back. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go, everybody.
That's what I appreciate about you.
Thank you, Second Man.
The purpose of going out and making sounds is to get responses to.
Hit it, maestro.
I would like to point out this man's name is Bobo. This man's name is Bobo. Okay. This is just me walking around town at 2 a.m. after leaving the pub drunk. There, at least you're owning it, Goth. At least you're owning it. Bobo's the best in the show.
What are you going through, puberty?
When is this guy trash talking this other guy for his Bigfoot call? That takes some balls, my friend. I'm sorry, that takes balls. You're going to smack talk somebody, smack talk them for their Bigfoot call. Really, bro? I'm sorry. I would have been, you know what, bro? Fuck you. We are freezing our asses off in the goddamn woods, and you're going to give me shit over my Bigfoot call. Fuck you and fuck your mama, and I hope Bigfoot comes over and says, hey, son, wondering why I went away for those smokes? It's because you're a dick. Wow, man. Wow. Big man with a Bigfoot call. Fuck that guy. Whoa. I'm sorry. I'm just going to come out and say it because I just saw Liddy pop up. Liddy, if you and I were out in the woods and you said that about my Bigfoot call, I would punch you so hard in the balls, you'd be pissing out of your mouth for a week. I'm just saying. You do not smack talk your bro when you're looking for cryptids. You do not smack talk your bro. Are we clear? Can I get we're clear in chat? Can I get we're clear in chat? Give me some we're clears in chat. Fucking hell. Jeez. Whew. Sorry, I get triggered by some of the weirdest shit, okay? I'm just going to come out and tell you. And that's one of them. You know, throwing that out there. Okay, let's get back to this.
great.
I swear to God, one of these guys is gonna pull a hernia. They're really they're gonna be going to the hospital.
The purpose for going out and doing howls is to get some responses from Sasquatches, even if they're off in the distance. If they're distinct enough, then we know we're in the right place. More importantly, it means a Sasquatch lives there, at least at that time of year.
I really want to believe these guys. I really do. Okay. All right. The longest 5 minutes of my life. And you're right. See, that's the thing, Lizard. I believe that they believe. I totally buy that. And I do not want to yuck their yum. I really don't. I really don't. But it goes back to the comment we got earlier. What if you're out in the woods, you and your friends, you're all hanging out and you're making s'mores and you're chilling out and everything's cool and copacetic, right? And then you start hearing this stuff in the woods. You either think, oh man, we're done for because this force is going straight up Blair Witch, or you jump to the next conclusion, which is, are cryptids a thing? Anyway. Secondhand's got a poll incoming. Secondhand's got a poll incoming. Here we go. And it sounds like they are tearing up their voices. And I want to hear from Liddy. Liddy is the singer. He's the singer right now here. I gotta ask Liddy real quick. Liddy, what kind of damage are these guys doing to their throats? Okay. I mean, seriously, dude. I'm impressed by that noise. I hope they gotta find a yodeler. Was it Bobo that was talking the smack? Was it Bobo talking the smack? Because if it was Bobo talking the smack, I'm sorry. Okay.
Hello there.
Hello there.
I'm gonna do a call. I'm gonna howl back.
So wait a second. If these two teams are working separately for each other, they're kind of cross-contaminating their scene here. How do they know that it isn't one of their local chuckleheads, calling back in the howls?
Here we go.
This is a compilation. This is a compilation. Okay. I just realized it's a compilation.
What the?
How many seasons did this get? I didn't see the results. How many seasons did it get? How many seasons did this thing get? It's been on for a while. Did it really? Oh, they're doing the poll. Okay, so you're doing the poll. Okay, we're doing the poll. Let me just refresh because I want to see if the poll is there. For some reason, I'm not seeing the poll. I don't get to check. Okay, all right. You all will tell. You all will tell me about it. Okay, let's.
'It is a good call.
I just gotta ask. How do you know it's a good call? How do you know it's a good call if we don't even know what the call is? Because we don't have anything really truly documented. Twelve seasons. 12 seasons.
You gave him a warning?
Yeah.
12 seasons.
Oh, yeah.
12
That's an echo.
seasons.
So what happened?
I think it should be pointed out that is almost as long. That is 2 seasons shorter than Supernatural. I'm just gonna throw this out there, Smug. I'm just gonna throw this out there, Smug Boo. Here's the thing. Taps found more in their seasons of Ghost Hunters than these guys found after 12. I'm just throwing that out there, but 12 seasons. They are that is the reason why they got 12 seasons, because these types of shows, even ghost hunting shows, the thing that they're the most costly of is time. That it's time. Oh, and the final, just so you all know, the final conspiracy theory: Bigfoot might swear. Calls aren't the only vocalizations in the Sasquatch repertoire. According to a linguist quoted in the liner notes for the CD, The Bigfoot Recordings, The Edge of Discovery, the cryptids probably have a language that likely includes a few cuss words. So there you go, everybody. My wife sent me that one. So please put some hearts in chat and some love in chat for my wife, because, you know, she likes to throw out the things that really trigger me. That's my cryptid. There we go. Let's go, everybody. Whoo, man, let's go.
I see you shiver
Man.
with anticipation.
Jeez. Fuck. Okay. I swear, these. Because I take it you're an outdoorsy guy, Scythe, because if you, man. Son, I'm trying to sleep. Whoo, boy. Well, speaking of Pip, this last story, it's for you, okay? I'm ending the news segment, the weird news segment, specifically for my baby. Here's the final news segment. Flight delayed by penguin on runway at New Zealand airport. There we go. Here we go, everybody. This happened last week. A plane was delayed at New Zealand's Wellington International Airport due to a well-dressed hazard on the runway, a penguin. The airport said on social media that the unusual little visitor wandered under the tarmac, leading airport staff scrambling to get the flightless bird to safety. An airport spokesman said that an Air Chatham's flight had been preparing to take off when the blue penguin, or Korora, did I get that right, baby? Korora wandered out onto the runway. The pilot and passengers patiently waited while Wellington Airport staff raced out to collect and help the visitor. The Post said. Though thin, hungry, and a little underweight, the fledgling was otherwise in good health, a zoo spokesperson told stuff.co.nz. The penguin was put on a weight gain diet by veterinarians and will be cared for until its feathers become waterproof, officials said. And if you want to see the little guy, little blighter, if you want to see the little blighter, here he is, right here. Right here. Look at that. Look at that little guy. Look at that little guy. Give me that drop in of Oz. Come on. That's cute. That's cute. It's a good way to end this weird news segment, right? Aww. There you go. Thank you, Goth. Aww. Bring it, Zipper. Thank you, Zipper. I appreciate that. Yeah. That's nice. All right, everybody. Now let's start looking at some clips that have nothing to do with Bigfoot. Let's start looking at clips that have nothing to do with Bigfoot. So here is what Scythe has offered up. This is what Scythe has offered up, everybody. So let me go on ahead and let me expand this. This is from a So this is not a Tesla. So this is obviously not a Tesla, right? Because their SUV does not look like this. But we've got somebody in a graveyard, right? Yeah. It's artificial intelligence, but only in theory there, Goth. So here's the funny thing was that Scythe actually encouraged me to look up similar videos. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at, no, not that one. We're going to take a look at this one right here.
I'm at my boyfriend's house and I was helping him clean up the bathroom.
Right.
And I moved this rug in the bathroom and I find these two.
Whoa. That is not the clip that I want to hear. Okay, let's try it again.
Like just weird little.
Okay, there we go. Better. All right. So now we're in a Tesla.
It's next to It's next to her. What is that?
Oh, no. No.
There's so... There are so many people showing up on the screen. I swear to God.
Like random
Okay.
stones, and when I asked him like what these are, where they came
Okay. First off, So, and I got one more for you. Okay. Here we go. Another 30-second clip.
Alright, let's see again. Alright, we're in a cemetery.
You're in a cemetery.
Show yourself if you're...
I was there.
Yo, I'm not playing.
Another one.
You saw another one?
Yeah, I saw another one. Oh, that's creepy.
So it wasn't... Oh my gosh, yo.
So, okay. three different looks. Three different variations on a theme here. And so let's back this up. Let's back this clip up. Okay.
I'm not playing.
Another one.
You saw another one?
It was there.
Okay. All right. We'll pause it here. So, so Sai said, "Hey, here's a clip I'd like for you to take a look at." And, yeah, it actually is a thing. This is a thing that's been going on for years. But I think Goth said it best. AI is dumb as fuck. Oh. I thought that was the button. So yeah, AI dumb as fuck. Okay, it is. Yeah, I mean, the thing to understand about artificial intelligence, right, is that if you give it bad information, it will spit out bad information. If you remember a few years back when Microsoft launched an AI bot to interact with people on Twitch, and within 24 hours, it turned like racist and homophobic, and it was all this bad thing because people were giving it bad information. It was giving it bad data, and there's an old developer saying garbage in, garbage out, right? And AI is really no different. AI is no different than any other kind of software development. If you put in bad code, you're gonna get bad results. You're not gonna get the results that you think you're gonna get. And with this type of radar, which is, Tesla was a pioneer and still is a pioneer in a lot of the technology that you see. This was when we thought Elon Musk was just an eccentric and not an absolute raging idiot and somewhat of a raging asshole. But you have this technology that is supposed to figure out and tell you where pedestrians are. Okay, they're supposed to alert you at where pedestrians are. But if you take a look at these gravestones, it tries to fill in the blanks and just convince you that there's something there or that you hear people talking. I would say, and I don't know if this is a thing, but I would call this digital pareidolia. This is state-of-the-art. This is state-of-the-art technology that is confusing gravestones, and it's confusing monuments for people. And because of that, this is why people are thinking that they are going ghost hunting. I get that it could show false data because of the shapes, but why were they walking? Good question. So what you don't see but you hear in this Facebook video, and the biggest flaw of this particular video is that they are focused on the screen. Now, had you put the screen and what they were driving by together as one composite, well, you got to think about how I'm getting there, Cammie. I'm getting there. Yes, it's static, but as you're driving by a row of headstones, like you would see here, these row of headstones, if you're driving by them, your onboard radar is going to interpret that as some kind of movement. It's like when you take a book and you flip the pages. You know, when you're flipping the pages, the pages are moving, and that is why when you have an image on the corner of a book or something, and you do the animation, it looks like it's moving. Same principle here. We're going by a whole bunch of gravestones. We're going by in this one a whole bunch of gravestones, and because the people are moving, and you notice they're phasing in and out. Ooh, they're ghostly. Ooh, they're ghosts. They've got to be ghosts. No, they're not. They're the gravestones as interpreted by radar, and you're moving. You are moving in the car. They were also moving here because you could hear the engine. Had they stopped, had they just stayed stationary, and people were moving to the car and moving away from the car or something like that, that's different. That's different. But in all of these, in this one you can hear, and that's the biggest flaw of this one. And this is when you get paranormal videos, one of the things you have to be kind of careful of is what is your camera focused on? And if you can't get the outside, if you can't get a wider view of things, then and all you're like is, no, just focus on this. If I'm just focusing on this, I'm not seeing any other kind of interference out here, right? And I think that's the better part of this video and this video, is that in each of these videos, this person is moving in the car. Now he is stationary here, but now he's moving the camera around, and as he's moving the camera around, the camera is seeing all of these gravestones, and as they're going by quickly because he's scanning with his finger, it's saying, "Oh, there are people here. I see people there." And that's where you'll also notice too, if you look at the people that are in this particular video, they're all standing very close to each other. Now here's another one, and this is very telling. This is how you know this is the computer confusing people for gravestones for people. Hang on. See if I can pause it. Let me see if I can pause it at the right spot. Dang it! It happens very quickly at the beginning. There you go. You can just see it right here. You can see it right here. The car isn't moving, Lizard, but the camera is. And when you watch the camera pan around, you'll actually see, you see how over here you've got two people standing right next to each other? There's another point, and I'm going to play it back again. You'll see where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 people, just all standing in a line. It's all standing in the line. So the camera is actually picking up people standing in lines. You'll see it here. And then, and that's another thing too, that you can tell that it's a glitch. Look at the people. There are all these. So let's say yes, these are ghosts. Could you please explain to me though why 2 of these ghosts are riding motorcycles? Because if you take a look at the camera as he's quickly scanning it, 2 people show up on motorcycles. I've seen Ghost Rider. Okay, if it's Nicolas Cage, fine. Okay, roll with it. But see again, this is my point is he's moving this little camera of his pretty quickly. And that's a lot of information to process in real time because again, remember that the reason why they have these cameras and they're showing all this stuff is to avoid accidents. But what's happening here is no, the car itself is not moving, but the camera is. And as it's sweeping by all of these gravestones, pretty much like, yeah, that makes sense. It was what I thought. It was that basically the cameras are trying to process this information, and what they think are people are actually, headstones. Yes. Okay. So now you've opened up you've opened up a good You've opened up a good topic here. Does similar logic apply to things like SLS? Yes. Because I've lost count how many times somebody has said, I used GhostTube SLS, okay, on this blouse that I had, and it's conjuring the image of my mother or something like that. It used to be my mother's blouse, and now it sees my mother wearing it. But when they're pointing an SLS camera at the blouse, it's on a hanger. So when you put a piece of clothing on a hanger, the SLS camera is going to look at it and goes, okay, I see two shoulders. And then if the two shoulders are here and the hanger's here, there's the neck. And then it's just going to go on ahead and try to draw a body. And if it's sitting in a chair, it's going to look at the chair legs as actual legs. And SLS, see, okay, so yeah, it is branded as a ghost hunting device, but really, if you want to know what SLS technology is, it's the same technology behind the Kinect. And there's a we actually did a 5 Minute Paranormal on this. There's a social network that GhostTube started, and it's called GhostTube Explore. And it's all these different places that people are putting in and saying, oh, this is haunted, here's a picture. And a lot of people have put pictures up of the SLS camera at work. But 9 times out of 10, it is a piece of clothing on a hanger. And where SLS technology gets interesting is if you're pointing it in an open space and there's nothing there, but then the SLS actually detects a figure there. Because that was the whole point of the Kinect. It was supposed to be able to detect people in a certain space, right? I had a Kinect. It did a crappy job picking up people properly. Yes, Lizard, so did I. That's why when they said, "Oh, this is all the rage in ghost hunting technology," I said, "Not in this team." Phil tried it out several times. And we then started going towards LiDAR, using LiDAR and stuff like that. And that has been a better option for us, Okay. So I mean, and here's the thing. I mean, trust me, I would love it if Teslas or any of the new cars you get would have built-in ghost detectors. That'd be fantastic. It would make my job a lot easier. But it's another reason why I'm not a big fan of going into graveyards as a ghost hunter. I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine. I've done it before. It's okay. But I feel like when it comes to paranormal investigation, I go back to something Jason Hawes once said about investigating graveyards. There's nobody there to help, right? There's nobody there to help. And as far as, at least for me, as far as paranormal goes, paranormal research goes and paranormal investigations goes, it's kind of low-hanging fruit. And I'm just not, I appreciate you throwing in there, Scythe. I mean, that it was a good challenge. It was a good challenge, and I'm like, oh, that's creepy. It is very creepy. I won't lie there. It's very creepy. But is it paranormal? No, that's just a technological glitch. Sadly. Okay. So we got something here from No. I didn't mean it to sound negative. I love that. I love the fact that you stepped up and sent me something. And that was a good call. It was a good call. I thought, because I think it's great because this is a thing. This is a thing, side. People have been talking about this thing. I actually saw articles about this, about the whole, car radar picking up people in cemeteries. I saw something going all the way back to to I think 2015. So this has been a thing for almost 10 years, and this was fun. This was fun to cover. Okay. Now this is from Paranormal Talker. Paranormal TikToker. And I've told my wife we're gonna have to give Paranormal Talker a break because this is the second week in a row we've covered him. Hi Spence. Welcome home. So we got a ghost caught in a couple's home. Let's see what this ghost does. Here we go.
Perhaps thinking that Damien had come home from work early, she waits for him to appear. But seconds pass, and no one is seen. Damien isn't there. Understandably, Crystal was shaken up, but it seems that this incident wasn't as scary to Crystal as the most recent occurrence. It's not known what exactly happened, but it's evident that whatever had just occurred has left the couple no choice but to leave their house. In a recent video, Damien explains the situation.
Yeah. We're just just outside because it's getting weird in there and we don't feel safe being in there anymore, so we're just gonna go to an Airbnb for the night and just for the night. And then we're gonna figure out what to do.
The activity has become so intense that they can no longer live happily inside their house. Sadly, they have no choice but to leave behind their dream home in the hopes that things would settle down. Feeling hopeless, they book an Airbnb and spend the night there. However, the following night, they decide to return home and try something that would
Okay. Okay, so we got, this is a 2-minute clip. We're going to watch this one more time. I will give props to Paranormal Talker for one thing. At least this video doesn't have us craning our necks to one side. So, improvement. Let's give props, for that. We have improvement, so, Okay. Pretty happy. Yeah, I know. Right, I can actually see. This is how well I know Spence. I can see Spence going, okay, so what? I mean, and I'm gonna give this another shot. But I will tell you right now, my sussometer is going off hard, and I'll tell you why in a second.
Perhaps thinking that Damien had come home from work early, she waits for him to appear. But seconds pass, and no one is seen. Damien isn't there.
Okay, so it looks like where we should be looking is here in the doorway. It's right here in the doorway, okay? So let's go back to the beginning, and let's see what happens in the doorway. So everybody focus on the doorway, in particular right here. She says she hears something, right? Okay, so it looks like the door opens. It's very distant, though, Cammy, but I do see that...
Perhaps thinking that Damien had come home from work early, she waits for him to appear. But seconds pass, and no one is seen. Damien isn't there. Understandably,
This is
Crystal
not
was
a
shaken up,
well-edited video,
but it seems that this incident wasn't as scary to Crystal as the most recent occurrence.
There's the big end.
It's not known what exactly happened, but it's evident that whatever had just occurred has left the couple no choice but to leave their house. In a recent video, Damien explains the situation.
Okay. So here's my first problem with this video. Here's my first problem with this video. If this woman is so startled and unsettled by this happening, why does she have a random camera in their bedroom? That's my first problem. Why is there a random camera in the bedroom? And yeah, I didn't see you say that. Yeah, why? Yeah, I just saw your comment just above. My thing with these videos is, why are there videos of you normally have a camera set up facing your bed? Do you? Boo-hoo. Yeah. Do you? Boo-boo. Yeah. And so already I'm just like, okay, so if you, and the other problem is that you're basically trying to give me some context within 2 minutes. And it feels like there was something that happened before this and something that happened after. And this goes back to what I think is some bad editorial choices. And it says ghost caught in couple's home. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that at all. And TikTok is cutting it off after 2 minutes. But I mean, I have zero context on this. Zero. And if she's reacting to the door, that's and this is why I think he did that other video with the that was horizontal but turned on its side so it would fit vertical. Either way, neither craning the neck or this works, but basically you do see, and it's weird editing, because in this particular clip that door barely opens, but then in an earlier clip that you see, and I'll show you. So okay, so we're looking over here. We're looking on the right hand side of the door frame. She is convinced that her husband came home early. Something else too. Why is she just sitting in her bedroom? That's kind of creepy. That also strikes me as creepy. I mean, I sometimes do weird stuff in my bedroom, giggity, but I'm not seeing, but like I would be reading a book. I would be watching television. And from the looks of it, I think they've got a gaming console there. I'd be gaming my ass off, so I probably wouldn't be hearing any ghosts if they did come up. I'd be like, bro, I mean, bro, wait your turn. But she is just sitting in her bed waiting for her man. I mean, yes, she could be just waiting for her man. I agree. She could be just waiting for her man. But it feels like in this video she's been waiting there for quite some time. Must be saying something about that man. But, this just feels a little staged. This feels a little staged. Depression moment? Could be. That's something else. This could be an issue where it's not paranormal. It's something mental health related. But going back to this moment. Okay. So she gets all squirrely. She gets out of bed. It looks like she's hearing something from the door, but here's where I'm like, wait a second. This isn't the same time.
Perhaps thinking that Damien...
All right, see, here, the door's wide open. So I'm like, this is from a different part of the night. So you're showing something to me out of context and out of order. already, so that's a problem with your editing. And quite honestly, the guy who's showing this, I don't know where he's pulling these clips from. But this is the same guy that gave us the really super vague, there was a paramedic who was at a hospital and the doctor said that the patient, and it was all very, we didn't know where the hospital was. We didn't know, but we had a date. We had a very specific date, but we didn't have any other detail. So, okay, her hair looks different in the second clip. Let's see. All right, let me see this.
Perhaps thinking that Damien had come home from work early.
No, it's just the light reflecting off. But I mean, I think she's also sitting differently in the bed. So this either happened before or after. And I guess she's insinuating that she heard something on the other side of the door, and then for it to have, this little thing about how, hey, we're going to the Airbnb, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, and then they said, but something else horrifying. And then the clip cuts off. I mean, the other problem we have here too is that I'm in the camp with Resident Moon. Spence and I are like, I'm not hearing anything. I'm not seeing anything. What is she seeing? And if they do have some type of paranormal activity, and obviously she's used to this, they knew that this was just this was starting to ramp up. They had the wherewithal to put a camera in the bedroom. Did they have cameras going on anywhere else in the house? So I'm not. Yeah. So I'm.
She waits for him to appear.
It would have
seconds
been,
pass.
It would have been nice to have a clip elsewhere. Plus, also to have it just say this.
However, the following night, they decide to return home and try something
that you're not going to find out about, because that's where this clip cuts off. So, yeah. Okay. Also,
doctors working midnight shift.
Also, let's see. So this is Crime Tea Time with Bree. Okay. All right. Just so you all know, I'm not, these clips, with the exception of the one that I have for the very end of tonight's Grim Gazette, this is it. I've not seen any of these clips. Okay. Doctors working midnight shift get horrified after they capture the unexpected on the abandoned floor. Okay. No. This is the so the For You page, this is Old Spirits. So it's okay. It's okay. Here we go. Okay. Doctors working midnight shift get horrified after they capture the unexpected on the abandoned floor. Here we go.
Doctors working midnight shift get horrified after they capture the unexpected on the abandoned floor.
Oh, lights are. Go in. Go in. Go in. Figure out where the lights are. I don't like that. Do it.
They look like evil eyes. You guys ain't coming with me?
Yeah, of course we're going with you.
Thanks.
Well, first off, these doctors must be bored AF to be doing. Hey, let's all go up as a group to the abandoned floor of the hospital. Okay. So here we go. So they're going into the spooky part of the abandoned floor.
Yeah, of
I
course
guess.
we're going with you.
It's midnight, but this is normal for them. Yeah, there you go.
What was it? Feels great. Was that you? Yeah. It's right. Feels good.
Not gonna lie, I'm getting goosebumps watching this. So it's never easy watching some of this stuff because it's like, you know, it's the buildup. It's like playing Phasmo. It's the buildup. Okay, we're gonna back this up just a wee bit. Also, the music isn't helping. The music is not helping.
Curtain moved. Yeah, it did. It moved. It moved. It moved. Yes, it did. It did. How do you not see that? Oh, okay.
What? All right.
Doctors working midnight shift get horrified after they capture the unexpected on the abandoned floor.
I think we all did. Expecting to just see some guy on break staring at the cameraman. You know what, weirdo? So was I. All right.
Oh, lights are. Go in. Go in. Go in. Figure out where the lights are.
Okay, I have investigated an abandoned hospital before. I'd be the first one to tell you. If you go into any part of a hospital that's been abandoned and it's night and the lights are off, it's going to be creepy. It's going to be creepy. That's just a given. But I'm trying to figure out what he saw or what moved or something like that, because he said something moved. So let's see what happened. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go to speed and let's go to 0.75. All right. All right, so I've slowed it down.
They look like evil eyes. Guessing I'm with me.
Yeah, of course you're hanging on with you.
Thanks.
All right, so also what doesn't help is the fact that this trigger warning thing, it takes up half the screen. If you're putting something up as paranormal evidence, you want to have as little as possible on the screen. The smiling face on the left, creepy AF. Where do you see it?
Yeah.
You're not talking about her face, right?
Of course you're hanging on with you.
Smiling face on the left. Oh, you mean in the zoomed in thumbnail? No, you're not going insane. You're not going insane, Turncoat. You're not going insane. It took me a moment. I'm sure that's unsettling as well. Yeah. Okay. So there's some empty boxes. Now remember, this is slower than normal. To be fair, anyone that you usually associate with being busy and full of people when it's empty is always creepy AF. There's a liminal quality about hospitals, schools, supermarkets, etc. Oh, yeah. Well, for one thing, when you go somewhere where you expect it to be busy and it's not, you get that sort of what I call it now this, but it's that Last of Us effect. You know, I mean, as terrifying as the clickety click click clicks of the clickers and all that stuff. To me, that was nothing compared to walking in and seeing like you know, places that where you had people at one time. You had lots of people, you know, that life after people thing. It's one of the things I think is the most terrifying about Dead Space, both the first game and the second game. You know, you walk in there and you see the evidence of people being there, but it's just, you know, it's been abandoned. When we went to parent evenings at schools, we always used to go upstairs into the corridors, and obviously it was empty. The lights were off. Nothing ever happened, but we always pissed ourselves. Okay, let's get back to the... And I'm not sure what the trigger warning is. Doctors working midnight. I guess it's the horrifying capture. Okay. All right, so there's something like dead center in this top section, but I think that's just a reflection of something shiny. That's just something shiny. Could have been a bedpan. Okay, still nothing. It's coming up. Oh. You know what it is? You know what it is? Watch the curtain in the back. Watch the curtain in the back. Our healthcare system is pretty terrifying. Oh man. You know what? That ain't far from the truth. But watch the curtain in the back. Nope. Watch the curtain in the back. Watch the curtain right over here on the left-hand side. When he pans back with the camera, you'll see the curtain move. Watch now.
The curtain moved. Yeah, it did. It moved. It moved. Yes, it did. It did. How did you not see that?
And then we get the and then okay. All right, healthcare jump scare. Okay. We're going to play this back one more time for our outstanding healthcare reps right here. I'm going to play it full speed, and then I'm going to tell you why this is a hoax.
Doctors working midnight shift get horrified
like
after
that.
they
I'm gonna
capture
tell you
the
why this is a
unexpected
hoax.
on the abandoned floor.
First off, they chose this charming, cheery little voice to tell you this in AI. I hate that voice.
Go in.
No, it's near the end. Oh, you're talking about the grabbing, yeah. Now, to be fair, if it was a spirit, of course, yeah, something we have to, I would imagine it would be very convincing for it to cinch and pull across. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, of course we're going with you.
Thanks. Ooh, it feels great. Was that you? Yeah. That's right. It feels good.
The one I like, Goth, the one that works really well for our paranormal videos, I think, is the one that's it sounds like the old man, but then it has a more raspy sound about it. I like that one. That one works well for OSI. All right. What we're looking for, chat, for those of you just coming in and watching, it's the curtain in the back towards the left. It moves of its own accord. You'll see it when the camera pans back around this way.
The curtain moved. Yeah, it did. It moved. Yes, it did. It did. How did you not see that? Okay.
All right.
Doctors working midnight shift get horrified after they capture the unexpected on the
Too bad I'm
abandoned
using
floor.
honey, I like your voice. It's hot as balls. Come on, baby. You know I like that.
Oh, mine's are.
I mean, Cammy, that's a given right there. I mean, you know, either A, the guy shooting the video is the guy in charge of the night shift, and it's just a slow night, and they're like, hey, let's do something fun for TikTok. But let's break this down. Let's break this down. First off, I give them props for the setup. The setup is brilliant. The setup is absolutely brilliant, okay? They're doing the, no, you go in. I mean, you go in. And of course, being the dude, he goes in there. Because he's the brave one. We're just two cute little RNs, and we're getting our degrees from Stratford University. we're gonna be nurses. Okay. Sorry about that.
Thanks.
I used to work for Stratford University. It's a freaking diploma mill. Anyway, here we go. If they staged it as not real, an indie paranormal short film thing, this would be a good little clip. It would be, Goth. I totally agree with you. It would be absolutely. This is a ballin' little clip. They put thought in it. I mean, it's a hoax, but they put thought in their hoax, and I give them credit for that. They're telling a little story. Okay. Going what now? Okay, so all right. So I'm gonna try to stop it right before he runs out with his camera. Going, oh, it totally moved. Okay. All right, class. Why is this fake? Okay. So while you can't really see in the dark where someone is clenching this, they wouldn't really have to, because moving those curtains are Sam's getting her notes out. The thing is that we don't have a camera. We don't have a second camera back there. And I'll also give this guy credit. He is not. If people do this, to me, that's fine. When paranormal investigators see stuff like this and run, I'm like, dude, did you graduate from the Brian the Idiot School of Paranormal Investigation? No. Film that crap. Make sure you get it on film, nice and clear. So yeah, obviously there's a room behind there. There's obviously a room behind there, and it's too easy for someone to be standing back there. And these are just a bunch of bored interns or bored RNs or whatever, just saying, hey, let's do something wacky for TikTok. Well, this is the perfect setup, and I gotta give whoever's behind there, and whoever set it up, it's really done well. It's really done well. But yeah, it's too easy. It is just way too easy for there to be somebody back there. Now, had the lights been on, that would have been different. Even if the lights had been on, you might not have seen, that's the thing. You would probably see the feed underneath. So they were like, no, we're gonna go lights out. We're gonna do the whole thing. You'll I'll give you a vocal cue. Just know that when I'm in there, wait for the right time, and then start slowly, doing the curtain. So there's way too much. It's way too easy to have somebody back there. Okay. But then there's this little stunt. Okay. He goes running out there, because this is supposed to be on the abandoned floor. This is the abandoned floor, everybody. So watch what happens.
Yeah, it moved.
Right.
Yes, it did.
He goes, yes, it did. It moved. And he's shooting, but he's not shooting at the camera. I'm sorry, at the curtain. He's not shooting at the curtain that he just saw, because that's around the corner. So what are we not seeing? What are we not seeing? We're not seeing the other two standing behind him. So when this thing gets kicked over and makes them both jump, yeah, the girl that kicked it, she's not in the camera. She's not in the frame. So, and I'm sure they were bored. They just wanted to pass the time. And they said, let's see if we can make something go viral on Tickety Talks. And sure enough, they did at 189,000 likes. Fun clip, though. I will say that. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. There's at least if they're gonna fake it, they're gonna do it with some style. Do it with some style, baby. I'm good with that. Yeah, do it with some style. Yeah. What? Did I wake you up, Benedict? Yes, you.
Yes, you did, Dad. You're ranting. I'm gonna give you slow blinks anyway, because I love you. Dumbass. Yes.
Okay. He had a good nap. I'm sure he had a good nap. Okay. Okay, now I cannot wait to share this one with you. I've watched this and I said, I want this one on the episode. Has to be on the episode. I love this guy. We'll talk about him in a second. Kick back and enjoy, everybody.
Keith, get up here. Get away from him. Come on, guys. You okay?
Kids, you get up here now, and you get away from that floating demon in the woods now. Come on, your mom's making hamburger helper. Now, kids, I'm telling you to leave that demon alone. He don't want to play with you. He wants to consume your soul. Now, get up here, kids, before I miss the new episode of Big Brother.
This is trying so hard to keep a straight face.
One of the most convincing paranormal videos I have ever seen by a very clearly concerned father. But you know what? They are from West Virginia. And what small child in West Virginia has not been taught the ways of dealing with demons in the woods, even if it's a demon being pulled along by a string?
Okay. If you are not familiar with this guy on TikTok, he is so much damn fun to watch. And okay. So the funny thing is he's actually doing a stitch. He's actually doing a stitch from West Virginia Paranormal, which I believe, I don't think it's WBPI, the people that we worked with. But this guy right here, okay, he calls himself the Twilight Emporium. And that's _Twilight_Emporium. I cannot stress to you how good this guy is. He is so effing good at his read-throughs, at his weird history, at some of the mysteries that he tells. And he's got, as you can just hear, even though he's goofing around in this clip, he has got this gravitas that just haunts you. He is really, really cool. Obviously, yeah, that was total garbage. But the whole clip with the balloon that was being dragged along by the kids, because I have been a father, and I have seen my progeny, you know, Sonny, when she was that age, be scared of something. And two things when kids are scared: one, they scream. And they'll let out a scream that you can hear on Neptune. Okay, it is a scream that will pierce the. It's true, Sam. It will pierce the sound barrier in such a way that the sound barrier bounces back. And you know, and she still has that scream. I would tell my kid. I tell my daughter, I really do believe that if she could record a really solid scream, this would be huge as a drop-in for horror films. Okay, booyah! I'm not kidding. She got dad's lungs. She got dad's lungs. But this guy, when I say gravitas,
he doesn't need a filter or a little pop-in thing to get this voice.
He has it naturally. This is gravitas, and I love his stuff. He is, and he usually does not do it when he's dressed. He does not do it dressed in flannel. He usually has like a black turtleneck, and at one time he was doing the thing with the microphone that was constantly triggering me as a podcaster, because people were taking lapel mics and using them like actual microphones, which drives me bananas. But now he's got like a decent microphone. And as you can see, the way he's lit whenever he does his weird story tales or weird history or anything like that, That's what he films it as. And no, the Twilight Emporium, follow him. He is absolutely fantastic. I don't know if he's a paranormal investigator, but he loves telling weird stories and weird history. And I love this guy. Okay, we got one final clip, the grand finale, and I'm really excited to be sharing this with you all, because this one had my head scratching. This one had my head scratching. So we're starting at 2835 in the investigation of the Hellfire Club in Dublin. So if you're not familiar with this show, if you're not familiar with Amy's Crypt, I recommend, if you like the paranormal, watch their show. So this is Amy's Crypt. These are the people that created GhostTube. Amy, obviously Amy and Jarrad, and they're based out of Australia, but this is all they do. They travel the world and they do paranormal investigation, right? These two are quite good. These two are quite good at what they do. And what I like about their show too is very similar to Paranormal Quest. They will sometimes go to places and nothing will happen. They will also go to some places and weird stuff goes down. Now, one of the things that I will say about Amy's Crypt is one of the things that they tend to suggest is evidence are taps. Taps like, taps against the rocks and things like that, and taps against tables and homes that they investigate. And I'm like, is it really? Is it really? But then we get to this clip. And this is why I love watching Amy's Crypt. All right, so right now they are using one of their other apps. The other app they've got here is GhostTube Vox, which is similar to a spirit box, but it's run through a filter so you don't get the sound, right? This string of lights over here, these are a string of lights called tripwire, and they react when there's a change in EMF. Okay, so you've got that, and then in another room they have running the GhostTube SLS, and that was the thing I was telling you about with that uses the same technology as, say, a Kinect, right? Okay, got you all caught up. They're doing this, and here we go.
Inviting you to enter the room with us, come into this room with us, and come up to this device in my hand.
I love the piano.
It's like
funny.
And
I think it said it's funny.
Did it just say it's funny?
I think so.
It was like, and you're like, that's cute. And it was like,
that was cool. That was very cool.
Cheeky almost. Isn't it supposed to be like a devilish spirit here though? We had devil before. Now the devil's like cheeky. Come on, if you're the devil, surely you've got better than that. Cutting.
Okay, so I might have taken it back a little too far, but this is a good setup for what's happening here.
That's my last name.
The dark places seem to always know who you are.
Why do they always know my name? Why is it always my name?
Do you know his first name? His real first name?
Don't start that shit again.
So
well,
lovable.
I'm curious.
He's so damn lovable.
We had enough of that at the Sally house.
What we are referring to here...
I missed that bit where she pats him on the back and gives him a little rub. That was great. I want so desperately to do a collaboration with these two. They are so much effing fun to watch. And they know I'm on the map. They know about old spirits, but the problem is they work out of Australia. So we have to catch them when they're in the area. So
here are past experiences while investigating, where entities that some believe are demonic, such as that of the Sally house, have revealed
they
Jarrad's
don't edit anything in, but I doubt
first
if it
name,
was a shadow.
which is actually Carol, with his full name being Carol Jarrad Cutting. Could this be a similar instance with a spirit revealing personal information about Jarrad here?
So wait, so where did you guys? So technically, where did you guys see the shadow? So where exactly did you see the shadow? Was it before or after? Where was it? Rewind, watch the doorway. All right. I trust you guys. Let's take a look. Okay, we come up here. And so right about here, I'm going to guess. We'll back it up a little bit. One of the things that I try to do when I'm reviewing evidence is I try to make sure that I try very hard to put space before it, okay, before whatever people see, so that we can sort of get acclimated to the scene and everything there. It was to her left. Okay, it was clear after the name. Okay.
The garden. Was there a garden here?
Let's find out.
Yeah, it's a hunting lodge, so I don't know. This whole thing is its space. I want to ask about, earlier we had the response come through.
So you're talking about from this angle, correct? Are you talking about from this angle? You're seeing it? I'll wait for the delay just to see if you all saw it. So it's going to be to the left of her in this, wait for it, okay.
Scream, and I heard screaming in the forest area. That's not like a banshee, is it? Who's screaming here? Were you talking about somebody else screaming that we would hear tonight, or possibly when I screamed at the bird?
That's just the lights of the city down below.
It's very pretty. For somewhere as like dark and creepy as this, it's gorgeous. Can you see the lights? Can you see Dublin from where you are?
What rituals were performed here? To Garfield. The old Garfield experiment.
What?
Is that the name of the demonic cat, Garfield? Original.
Okay. All right.
I love the piano.
It's like
funny.
And
I think it says it's funny.
Did it just say it's funny?
I think so.
It was like and you're like, that's cute, and it was like it's like cheeky almost. Isn't it supposed to be like a devilish spirit here though? We had devil before.
Okay, it's after the piano. Okay, so just to make sure, it's after the piano, and it's in this shadow. It's in this corridor.
Now the devil's like cheeky. Come on, if you're the devil, surely you've got better than that.
All right, 2601. Okay. Okay, we cut over to here.
Cutting. That's my last name.
The dark places seem to always know who you are.
Why do they always know my name? Why is it always my name?
Do you know his first name, his real first name?
Don't start that shit again.
Well, I'm curious.
We had enough of that at the Sally house.
Okay, so this is going back 5 seconds. You say there, where? Are we talking about this? Talking about an arm, or are you talking about up here? On the wall to the left next to Amy. So the wall to the left next to Amy. Because I see this on the wall right by her. Okay. So not this wall. You're talking about. Oh, you're saying it's right by her. Chronicor, thank you for that follow. Certainly do appreciate it.
Yes. More of that, please. More of that, my
okay,
girl.
so you're saying it's in here. You're saying it's in here, and it's right next to Amy, correct? All right, let me back it up.
His real first name.
Don't start that shit again.
Well, I'm curious.
We had enough of that at the Sally house.
Oh, okay, I see it. It's right here. It's like here. That's Amy. That's Amy, everybody. Yeah, that's Amy.
His real first name.
No. It's they don't have any camera people. It's just Amy and Jarrad, and you'll notice that when she turns, her arm is basically in this, and it's a shadow off of the IR light. Dang it!
Start that shit again.
Well, I'm curious.
We had enough of that at the Sally house.
Watch her shift. Watch her body shift. And there you go. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, that's her. But you know what? Hey, look. You guys are new to this. You guys are new to my community. You're already trying to find some stuff that's going on in here. And you know what? I love that about you all. I love that about you all. You all are jumping in with both feet. I friggin' love that. Yeah. Let's f***ing go. I'm proud of you folks. Twitch Dad loves you. Twitch Dad loves you. Killing it. All right. So let's get back to it.
What we are referring to here are past experiences while investigating.
All right. So the whole thing with the arm, cool idea, but that is not what we're here to look for. I'm going to let it play and then you'll see what happens, okay? But hey, everybody, seriously, that was very cool. Cammy, Zip, I mean, seriously, that was very cool. You guys were into it and made my heart aflutter.
Were entities that some believe are demonic.
No. You get a gold star there, Cammy. You get a gold star, and as did you, Lizard, because you guys were paying attention. That's what you want to do.
Such as that of the Sally house, have revealed Jarrad's first name, which is actually Carol, with his full name being Carol Jarrad Cutting. Could this be a similar instance with a spirit revealing personal information about Jarrad here?
It's funny again. Yeah, it's not funny for me.
Can you tell me about the big black demonic panther cat that was here?
I forgot about that. Can you tell me about that?
Apparently there was like a demonic cat here, and it had horns for ears, and it got ripped apart when a priest threw holy water on
Alright, demonic cat, that's going to be a first in the paranormal, surely.
I don't think so.
Demonic cats?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a big puma thing, like a panther.
Is there a demonic cat here?
In the garden.
In the garden.
Meow. In the garden.
Kitty cat. In the garden. Was there a garden here?
Yeah, it's a hunting lodge, so I don't know. This whole thing is it's
So
space.
we're getting close to the
I
moment.
want to
So
ask
let's
about earlier we had the
focus on it and
response come
watch
through
what happens here.
scream, and I heard screaming in the forest area. That's not like a banshee, is it? Who's screaming here? Were you talking about somebody else screaming that we would hear tonight, or possibly when I screamed at the bird?
That's just the lights of the city down below.
It's very pretty. For somewhere as like dark and creepy as this, it's gorgeous. Can you see the lights? Can you see Dublin from where you are?
What rituals were performed here? To Garfield. The old Garfield experiment.
What?
Is that the name of the demonic cat, Garfield? Original.
Towards the end of this segment, we did capture some strange activity in the next room over on our GhostTube SLS camera. Over the course of about 45 seconds, the camera begins to pick up stray frames of a figure beginning to appear on the ceiling, which is sinister in itself, but then moving across to the doorway before seeming to enter into the space where we were actually standing. I've compiled all moments of interest to watch this activity more succinctly, but what happens just after this within the room with us is particularly creepy, and it's as if the entity had just joined us.
Can you tell us about Benjamin? Is Benjamin here?
Oh, yeah, Benjamin we got last time we were here. What the fuck was that?
This noise certainly sounded like something dragging across the ground, which was certainly creepy considering it had just occurred as that figure seemed to enter the room with us. Something we did not know about in the moment, but another thing that would add to the strangeness of this moment was that every single camera we had rolling in this room, including my phone recording our GhostTube Vox session, would produce corrupt frames of footage just after this sound. These would display as black frames of video all at the exact same time. I'm unable to export this segment of any of the video files from my editing software without receiving this error message, which is for corrupt frames of video. I have been able to record my screen to show where each of these different cameras became corrupt, and I must admit, I'm not sure why this would happen. I do know, however, it is rare, but for 3 different cameras with separate memory cards plus a mobile device to corrupt at the same time strikes me as highly odd and freakishly unlikely, unless there was some kind of powerful interference in the room. This is also something we were not aware of in the moment, yet Jarrad did notice some strange noises coming from around the cameras, which he would soon after remark. Do you think all of this adding up could have been paranormal?
What was that?
It felt like something like moving in here.
And touching our cameras. I feel like I've heard camera noises from both of these cameras.
I'm out. Okay. So here, and this is why I brought this up. So, all right. To illustrate this point, I gotta go and get a prop, everybody. I gotta go and get me a prop. Okay, so we have 2 different kinds of cameras. We got 2 different kinds of cameras when we record. Okay, so I've graduated what I call the smaller cameras now. What Jarrad is rocking is a Sony version of this. Probably has a lot better optics than this as well. This is a Minolta camera. Okay, so this is a Minolta camera. He's also got some. Yeah, right, exactly. For 2QG and for Sad Cat, thank you very much for coming in and saying that with a follow. I appreciate it. So with these cameras, I just upgraded to these, and these are pretty good cameras. The reason I upgraded to these cameras is that they're Minolta cameras. I know Minolta. Hello there. It's a brand. It's a brand name. It's a company that I recognize. I know they make good cameras, and that's all I want from this camera. I just want a good camera, a reliable camera, because I used to have these cameras. Okay, now you notice these 2 kind of look similar to each other, right? They kind of look similar to each other. Dude, that follow widget is awesome. Well, Tuku, I just want to let you know, this is what we do here. I've got the follow alert, also my rate alert and my subscribe alert. These alerts are playing into what I do here. I'm one of the founding members of OSI, and tonight we're doing the Grim Gazette. You're here on our last clip of the night, and I'm talking about what happened on Amy's Crypt. Now, let's go back to this camera. The difference is this camera, I get this camera and it's roughly $170. Let's just say it's $170, okay? So it's a decent camera. It's an affordable, decent, durable camera. For the same price, I get this camera plus a lot of little add-ons. I get like an extra battery, I get a memory card with it, I get this lens that's supposed to help me do wide angle. It's supposed to come with a little IR light, so an IR booster, I should say, an IR booster. So IR stands for infrared, so you all know. That's great, but the camera itself, it's made by a company called Zohulu. Any takers on where you could find the camera company Zohulu? Your answers would be wrong because it is out of business. Yeah, Zohulu basically no longer exist, and they were one of the Ohio. I love that actually. You'll find these types of cameras made in Indonesia, China, and places like that. And the reason I am going from the super cheap, less than $100 Zohulu, and for twice the cost getting these Minolta cameras is I recognize Minolta. Zohulu basically it's an Asia Pan-Pacific basically knockoff brand, and they're just crappy cameras. So they fail on me on a regular basis. They started to fail on me on a regular basis. I would go through one of these cheaper cameras, I would go through 3 of them in 1 year. And I said, I'd rather have a camera I can just plug in and I can rely on as opposed to a cheaper camera. This one has made it the longest without failing. But that's the worst bit. You can be out in the field. You could have a camera going, and one would fail on you. And that sucks because you've lost that angle, you've lost that perspective on it. I'm going to go back and replay this little segment one more time. And Sam can attest, Sonny in chat can attest. They've been there when my cameras have completely, when I've lost a camera in the field, or when I get back from a location and I've lost one of the cameras. They know how ticked I can get.
Particularly creepy, and it's as if the entity had just joined us.
Can you tell us about
Benjamin?
Is Benjamin here?
Oh, yeah, Benjamin we got last time we were here. What the fuck was that?
And it should also be pointed out too, these two are totally alone in this former Hellfire Club in Dublin. There's nobody else there. And as far as I know, there's nobody on the property. It is just the two of them.
This noise certainly sounded like something dragging across the ground, which was certainly creepy considering it had just...
Good question. Is there a weird filter on the audio that they're picking up? No. What you're hearing is boosted audio. Anytime you take, you're getting like an EVP or you're getting a distant sound, like what they're getting is some type of scraping sound. And it's them boosting the audio in Adobe Audition or some program like that. But great question, Graft. Great question.
Occurred as that figure seemed to enter the room with us, something we did not know about in the moment. But another thing that would add to the strangeness of this moment was that every single camera we had rolling in this room, including my phone recording our GhostTube Vox session, would produce corrupt frames of footage just after this sound. These would display as black frames of video all at the exact same time. I'm unable to export this segment of any of the video files from my editing software without receiving this error message, which is for corrupt frames of video. I have been able to record my screen to show where each of these different cameras became corrupt, and
By the way, she said screen, not screama. That's the accent talking.
I must admit, I'm not sure why this would happen. I do know, however, it is rare, but for 3 different cameras with separate memory cards plus a mobile device to corrupt at the same time strikes me as highly odd and freakishly unlikely, unless there was some kind of powerful interference in the room. This is also something we were not aware of in the moment, yet Jarrad did notice some strange noises coming from around the cameras, which he would soon after remark. Do you think all of this adding up could have been paranormal?
What was that?
It felt like something like...
All right. So here's what I'm drawing at, and I wanted to, get the opinion of chat as well. And if you want to tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but you better have a good explanation, because here's the thing. I have had a camera like this fail on me. I have never had a camera like this fail on me yet. But I have had 3 cameras going, 4 cameras going, and I've lost the footage from one camera. I have done that. And I have had my GhostTube fail on me before on the older model phone. I have a brand new phone. It's the 15 Pro, so I'm being very conservative right now, and I'm saving segments in GhostTube. But have I had a reliable camera, my phone, and one of the disposable cameras fail on me simultaneously or capture corrupt frames? The closest I've ever had that happen was in Savannah, Georgia. And in Savannah, what had happened was that I was running GhostTube, my wife was running GhostTube, and where we were, and I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm just going to just state this fact. And for anybody that lives in the Savannah, Georgia area, you probably are like, yep, he's been to Savannah. Savannah, Georgia, haunted as fuck. Savannah, haunted as fuck. Sonny, can you attest? And here's where I'm coming at. We were walking around. It was my family and it was Phil's family. We were walking around. Now, I will say this too about Savannah. Also, Savannah in August, hot as f***. If you're going to go ghost hunting in Savannah, do yourself a favor. Go in the spring. Go in the fall. Do not go in the summer. Whew. We must have sweated like 10 pounds while we were down there. Anyway, going back to what we were talking about. It was not fun at points. But we did have a good time. But here was the thing. So Twitch Mom and I were walking around Savannah, and where we were walking around is also important to know too. We were walking around in the traders market. And when I say traders market, I mean this was where human individuals were traded as property, okay? And when we were walking through there, my ghost tube and Pip's ghost tube both crashed. They kept crashing. It wouldn't run during our walk through the traders market. So I said, okay, here's what I'm going to suggest you do, Pip. Pip, you reboot your phone. I will go on ahead and reinstall GhostTube, and we'll run it. And we tried like 3 times. All of our files were corrupted when we were walking the traders market. So the next night, or I should say the next day, we went to Bonaventure Cemetery. It's a beautiful cemetery in Savannah, Georgia. There were several scenes of Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil that were shot in this graveyard. I reinstalled GhostTube. Pip just rebooted her phone. We didn't have any problems filming GhostTube. None. That's the closest I've come to this. And what Amy here is saying is she had 3 cameras where the data went corrupt, and her phone, which does not use the same technology. Her phone is an iPhone, so she's not using a SIM card or an SSD card, right? So we have 3 cameras and an iPhone. All of them crap out and offer up corrupt data. So, yeah. Do I think that's paranormal? Do I think that's paranormal? Now I saw, considered one of the most haunted places in America, very historical. Yes, Lizard. Yes, it is. But I saw someone mention something about multiple devices. Let me see if I can find it. One failure. Okay, so Scott, 1 failure, sure. 2 failures, extremely unlikely. All three fail. Plus the camera in the phone. Do we think that is paranormal? Do we think that's paranormal? Personally, yes. That is something I think that is paranormal, because it wasn't like it was, and that's the other thing too. The biggest thing I am skeptical about when I see investigation shows like this is when they say, "Ooh, my battery drained. Ooh, my battery is drained, and now I've got a full battery again." I hate that, because I always think, look, dude, how do you know you don't have a bad battery? How do you know you don't have you forgot to charge your phone, the next day, or how do you know? You don't, right? But when it comes to corrupt data, when it comes to these cameras that they use on a regular basis, and her phone, which again she uses on a regular basis, and all that goes corrupt, yeah, that is by definition, again, as I said last week, by definition that's something that's paranormal. It is really hard. It is, and again, going back to what Scott said, which I think is right on the money. 1, sure, you can say, oh yeah, this card went tilt. Okay, that's going to happen. Not only corrupt data, but corrupt data at that specific point. They heard the scraping, and then that happens. Let's just go back and watch that one more time. Because, man, that, to me, that is...
Experiment.
I mean, even when we were watching this over the weekend, you know, when that happened, Pip and I just gave each other this look. And it's because she's been there when I've brought something back and I go, oh, damn, this camera failed on me. I don't know when I put this camera in some of the most expendable angles and places that I can find because, quite honestly, I don't know when this camera's going to quit on me. Sometimes it runs like a boss, and other times it just spits the dummy, and I have no idea why. And I blame it. And the thing is, the other cameras, they're fine. These other cameras are fine. And, of course, the $1,300 cameras, they're great. Only these cameras are a little dodgy. But at that specific time, you know, better the camera than you. Well, yeah. It's possessed. No, I don't think this could be. If this is possessed, well, I could see it happen. Yeah, sure. Why not? Okay, but let's watch this one more time. Yeah.
Is that the name of the demonic cat, Garfield? Original.
That's what the camera wants you to think.
Towards the end of this segment, we did capture some strange activity in the next room over on our GhostTube SLS camera. Over the course of about 45 seconds, the camera begins to pick up
Cammy,
stray frames of a figure beginning to appear on the ceiling, which is sinister in itself, but then moving across to the doorway before seeming to enter into the space where we were actually standing. I've compiled all moments of interest to watch this activity more succinctly, but what happens just after this within the room with us is particularly creepy, and it's as if the entity had just joined us.
Can you tell us about Benjamin? Is Benjamin here?
Oh, yeah, Benjamin we got last time we were here. What the fuck was that?
This noise certainly sounded like something dragging across the ground, which was certainly creepy considering it had just occurred as that figure seemed to enter the room with us. Something we did not know about in the moment, but another thing that would add to the strangeness of this moment was that every single camera we had rolling in this room, including my phone recording our GhostTube Vox session, would produce corrupt frames of footage just after this sound. These would display as black frames of video all at the exact same time. I'm unable to export this segment of any of the video files from my editing software without receiving this error message, which is for corrupt frames of video. I have been able to record my screen to show where each of these different cameras became corrupt, and I must admit, I'm not sure why this would happen. I do know, however, it is rare, but for 3 different cameras with separate memory cards plus a mobile device to corrupt at the same time strikes me as highly odd and freakishly unlikely, unless there was some kind of powerful interference in the room. This is also something we were not aware of in the moment, yet Jarrad did notice some strange noises coming from around the cameras, which he would soon after remark. Do you think all of this adding up could have been paranormal?
Yes. 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 I'm just saying. Did those kids in the back hear me? Yes. Frickin' yes. So, yeah, that happened. And, I mean, 3 devices and a phone. Yeah. And you see, that's the thing, Goth. When I tell people that the scariest thing that I deal with when I get in a paranormal investigation, the scariest thing I deal with is always when I come home. And it's not because I think something, with the exception of EVP, with the exception, with that exception, I'm the most terrified when I'm reviewing the evidence. Because when I look at that evidence and I see stuff happen, or I hear something, or I hear a voice, my mind just goes bonkers because I go, why didn't I hear that? Why didn't I hear that in the moment? Why didn't I hear that in the moment? And then I start to panic a little bit because then I go, okay, like I should have heard that. I should have heard that. And I didn't. And just to close out the night, I'll give you a good example of one of those times where I just kept telling myself, I kept insisting, why didn't I hear this? Why didn't I hear this? Why didn't I hear this? And it happened in season 2 of Old Spirits. It was the first couples weekend that Phil and I took with our wives to Gettysburg. And we went to a place called, so we went to a place in Gettysburg called Devil's Den. And this is a very famous battle in Gettysburg history. And yeah, here we go. Let me see if I can find it. So we got Evans reveal. Yep, is that it? This is it. Okay. Now, I know I'm in intermission. I had to find it first. Thank you very much. Do not jump the gun and assume. Because, when you assume, makes word out of ass and yum. Okay. I know what I'm doing here. All right. So this is from our first trip to Gettysburg as pair of couples. And I was actually using, I remember, I was using Hawkeye. I was using this camera. Can we get a professional in here? Thank you, Scott. So here we go. So this gives you an idea of when, I was scared, not because of where we were, but it was, this, I should have heard this. All right, here we go.
But as we're coming down this hill to the flat rock,
and it was a little muddy. Yeah.
This was what we picked.
Was it hot?
Good thing we got those boots.
Were you scared?
There's a no in there.
Was this long grass here? When you faced against the Confederate Army, or when you faced against the Union Army?
It was a pain to yell.
That was interesting. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. When I heard it was a long day, I was like, wait, what? And I backed up and I listened to it again and again. And then I thought, wow, Phil and Tina are going to love that. And then right after that, it was a pain to yell. Yeah, exactly, Sam. And that is when I freak out the hardest. Because I'm like, I should have heard that. And I didn't. So yeah, everybody. Thanks for joining me tonight. This is the very first, official, I wanted to make sure this is the very first Grim Gazette. We kind of broke ground with me just trying it out last week, but this is the official first episode, and I hope you all enjoyed it. We actually went a little longer than the first time, than the test time. The test version, episode 0. Yeah, we went about 3 hours and 15 minutes. This time we added an hour and 10, so I think we're doing all right. I think we got a good one. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Yes.
I really hope you enjoyed yourselves.
More of that, please.
As you can tell, I'm really into this. This has been a lot of fun to present to you all. I want to give a huge shout out to Scythe for good night, Monster Mash. Yes, good night to you too as well, Zipper. We're gonna raid, so don't anybody go anywhere too quickly. But we are gonna raid somebody, but just stand by. But seriously, thank you everybody who joined. Really, I hope you all enjoyed it. I'd love to hear your feedback. So if you wanna give some feedback, the Grim Gazette has its own room in my Discord. And not only can you give feedback, but you can also, if you've got a weird news story, or if you've got a clip you'd like me to look at, whether it is fake or whether it is real or something that is somewhere in between, feel free to drop the link into, go ahead and drop the link into the Discord, and that's probably going to be the best place where I will find it. But yeah, by all means, come on in and let me know. And thank you so much, everybody, for making the Grim Gazette something that you can get excited about, because it means a lot to me to bring this to you. This was a blast, everybody. This was an absolute blast.